Okay, so Mom, we're here. We're gonna do a little interview, but not really. It's gonna be talking basically and recording it just to tell some family stories. So if you want to start out, if you want to say your name or whatever.
Okay, my name is Teresa O'Connor, but when I was born, my given name was Teresa Dale Osnamer, which my mom and dad wasn't married, so my name should have been Teresa Dale Morgan. But she was married to Bernard Osnamer, and they had 5 children, and then with my dad, she had 4 children. So, but she never did marry my dad, and then she had Ronnie. She wasn't married to his dad, then married to Mark's dad. But anyway, my name later on changed to Morgan. And I was born in Corning, Arkansas. And I was born in my grandma's house in my grandma's bed. And I was dry birth, so the midwife had to get some lard and put around my mom so that on my head so that I could, come out easier. And then I had some family there. I think a couple of uncles and aunts was there. And anyway, my uncle said, "Give me that little lard head. I'm gonna hold her because she's kept me up all night long." So he called me lard head for a few years. And but anyway, that's where I was born.
That's pretty. That's a pretty good start.
It is.
Well, I guess. Do you want to talk about how far back you can remember as a kid? Your first memory, I
My
guess.
first memory, which was so vivid, and because I thought about that, I was almost 3, and when my dad was never around, so we lived in a little place called Cloverleaf. It's about a mile or two from Granite City, Illinois. And the reason they call it Cloverleaf is because it's shaped like a clover leaf. There's a viaduct, and you go on this, but before you go on the viaduct over into Granite City, you go this way, and there's only one road and 2 roads. It was only 4 blocks, and it was shaped like a clover leaf. But anyway, you go down and turn right and go down there, and my grandpa owned all most of that property in that area. And one day there was a bunch of people at my grandpa's house because we just lived 2 houses down, and a bunch of people was there, and I remember my dad was there, but I didn't know it was my dad. Somebody told me, I think it was, I don't know, Sharon or somebody. Might have been somebody else because I was probably 3 and she was just 4. But anyway, somebody said, "That's your dad." So I remember going over there and pulling his pant leg, and he looked at me and I looked at him, and I said, "Are you my dad?" And he didn't say nothing, so I walked away. But that's my first memory. Other than that, I've tried to think, but I couldn't think of anything. But that's because that really hurt me. That was my dad.
I think I've heard a little piece of that story. I had never heard that whole story.
You did?
Well, maybe not. I remember you pulling on somebody's pant leg. That's all I remember. Maybe you. I don't remember any of the rest
I
of it,
might have
so
told you. I don't know.
probably not because I don't remember any of the rest of it.
But
Well,
that was the first thing I remember. I might remember something later on, but I was 2.5, 3 years old. I know I was walking good and talking. And I remember pulling his pant leg, and he looked at me, and I looked at him. And I said, "Are you my dad?" And he just looked at me and didn't say anything. But
but
that
it,
was my
but
dad.
it was your dad.
Yes.
Who told you?
Well, my mom said that was your dad, but Sharon and David look just like my dad. I look like my mom more. And Annette, we've always told her, me and Sharon always told her she's left on the doorstep in a little basket
Right.
because she don't look like none of us. But we got a whooping for telling her that.
Um. Well, what do you want to talk about next?
What do I want to talk about?
Um. Are we related to Daniel Boone? Didn't I hear a story?
On my grandma's side. How I don't remember, but one day I got to go through a box of stuff that Sharon's got a bunch of literature on the family history, but it was on my grandma. Her name was Nora Elizabeth Householder, and it was on her side of the family that we was related to. And she said when she was a little girl, she remembered Daniel Boone coming to the house, hiding from the Indians. So, and we have a little a Boone family plot out towards, it's in Pollard, Arkansas, somewhere way out in the woods. I saw it one time years ago, but it's Boone. So we was related through her.
So where is our family originally from? I guess going back to,
Well, Arkansas, because that's where, see, Grandpa, my mom's dad, was half Cherokee and half Blackfoot. And they have a homestead out here in Pollard. And when he was little, he remembers that his dad was a best friends with the Indian chief. And they robbed stagecoaches. That's what they thought. And there's supposed to be money buried out there in Pollard. And but anyway, he, like I said, he was the full-blooded Indian. And what was the question?
where our family originally
Oh,
from?
and that was in Arkansas, in Pollard, and that was the homestead there. And but
So that's Buck?
yeah, Buck. His name is
Householder.
Householder.
That's what I meant. Grandpa Householder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But his name was Nolan Grafton Householder, but they always called him Buck since he was a real young guy, because he was always real strong and couldn't nobody whoop him. He was really strong. I remember when I was little, we was out on the family farm. Well, I was probably about 10 or 11, but anyways, all outside. And a bull, my Uncle James said, "Oh my God, here comes a bull got loose." And it started running up towards us, and my Uncle James said, "Everybody get out of the way, we're going to kill you, they hit you." And Grandpa stood there, and he said, well, that was his dad, said, they called him Poppy. "Poppy, get out of the way, here comes that bull." He said, "Oh, what the hair." And as soon as that bull got up there, he went like this, and that bull went, and I saw it. Everybody's going, "Oh my God." It did. I mean, he just boom, and it went down. But anyway, yeah, he was a tough guy, real quiet guy. But when he said something, you listened, because when he said something, you knew it was important, something he wanted you to know.
So the thing that he's most known for, at least to me, is the prayer.
Yeah, he's the seventh son of the seventh son. So he had spiritual, which was not like powers or something, I don't know what you call it, but it was all spiritual.
Right.
But every baby that was born in the family, he would hold them. And he would say something in Indian, which I couldn't understand, but he'd hold them up and say something in Indian, and then he'd blow in their mouth 2 times. But when Whitney was born, he blowed in her mouth 4 times. So I figured she probably needed it.
Right. And was she the last?
She was the very last one, because after that, not long after that, he passed away. Mm-hmm. And I've got that on video, and that was 5th generation. It was Grandpa, Mom, me, Tessie, and Whitney. And I got a picture of the 5 generations together.
Well, what's your favorite story or funniest story, or it might be the same story, I don't know.
Oh, there's so many funny stories, and I tried to think of the funniest one, but they're all so funny. But one was of you when we was in Maynard, over there where we had that big shop, at the in the back. And Ronnie and Tessie, everybody was there. Remember, you and Ronnie got them pictures of y'all doing the arms and whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And anyway, You left and we couldn't find you. And we're saying, where's Eddie? Where's Eddie? And we could not find you. We was looking for you everywhere. So anyway, I called your phone several times and you didn't answer. And then finally you answered. And I said, Eddie, are you okay? Oh no. I said, where are you at? And you said, I don't know. I said, Eddie, I've got to know where you're at. I don't know. I said, look around and tell me what you see. And you said, grass and dirt. So I said, are you on the ground? You said, yeah. But anyway, you stayed there all night. You called up somebody and cussed them out while you was laying down there. And I guess we didn't find you till the next morning. 'Cause I could not figure out, but I knew you was okay. That you was okay, but you couldn't tell us where you was on the ground. Well, I think Ronnie was the one that found you.
I just remember woods, and what was funny is I was only actually about 50 feet in the woods behind Ronnie's camper.
Yeah, right there, close.
And apparently I called everybody on my phone, and I woke up to the sun hitting my face and a dog licking my face, and I had the ant bites.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
all down the whole side of my body.
Oh my God. I mean, then it wasn't funny because I was scared and stuff, but now it's funny because you said, you know, you didn't know where you was. All you could see was grass and dirt. So anyway, right. But there's a lot of funny stories. I have to tell just nothing but funny stories one of these days.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of them include Ronnie and Sharon. Nancy,
oh yeah. Susie. Oh yeah, all of them. We was going to, we stayed at Annette's house when she lived on base. That's when her and Johnny was together. It was me and Susie and Tessie. All of us was over there. And so Annette said, well, everybody go to church with me in the morning. So Susie said, oh, I got something to wear, but I don't have any clean underwear. So Annette said, go in there in my bedroom in that top left drawer is a package of new underwear. Just get a pack out of there and you can just have them. So she did and everything. So we went to church and the pastor said, well, everybody stand up to pray. Well, we all stood up and it got real quiet. All of a sudden you can hear and I was looking around like, where is that coming from? And Annette said, you put on my new happy birthday underwear. And Susie said, well, it was new in the pack. You didn't tell me which ones to wear. But when she stood up, it hit the back of the pew. And she was looking. She was going, what? And then she done it again. And I went, hallelujah, praise the Lord, hallelujah. You know, oh gosh, it was so funny. But anyway, and Susie was so embarrassed. I said, well, don't act embarrassed. Because nobody knows whose underwear or where it's coming from. Just anyway, that was funny too.
Did you want to answer Annette's question? I don't remember what it is.
She wanted. Oh Lord, yeah. Tessie wanted to know too. My very first song I sang, but all I remember is when we was little, we all sang together. You know, and Mom would take us to church and just stair steps, you know. And that song I wrote about Mom and the box guitar, we all lined up and stair step. But at first, you know, it was little kid songs like This Little Light of Mine, you know, Jesus Loves Me and stuff like that. And then probably the very first song, and matter of fact, we won a contest when we was little singing that song. Mom played the guitar. And she'd boom, boom, and get it faster and faster like a train. And me and Sharon and us would, you know, she was first, me, David, and Annette and Ronnie would do our hands and go, woo, woo. And then we go up on stage and then sing the song and stuff. But that's all I can remember at first was just children's songs. And then that was the main one that everybody wanted to sing all the time. And then as I got, I've written a lot of songs. But then,
Well, I guess how old was you when you wrote your first song?
Probably, and I've got that, I need to find that folder. That reminds me of you saying that. I've got a blue thing with the very first songs I wrote in it. And I need to find that. But I was probably 12 or 13 years old when I wrote a song. And it wasn't that good or anything, but I wrote it. And I don't remember what it was about.
How old was you when you first sang a song you wrote?
Probably 16. And I sang it, my mom, there was a bunch of people at her house, and they all wanted me to, Tracy, get the guitar and sing some of them songs you wrote. And it would be my mom's first cousin, so it would be my second cousin, but she loved them. She said, oh my God, Tracy, I don't know why those songs don't make us. Well, because nobody's heard them or nothing. She said, those are so good. But I wrote a song about your dad, and I wrote a song about Caitlin's dad. I've written so many songs, but my most favorite gospel group is one question Annette asked, is the Hensons. That's the best gospel group I've ever heard, and I do a lot of their songs when we sing at church. One of my favorite songs to sing is Somebody Touched Me, the gospel song. And Who Am I? That's a good song. But, Sharon was always the one that got all the attention. She was the one that always got to sing lead, and I always had to do harmony. So when I turned about 16, 17, then I started writing my own songs and singing them. And when we got together, I would play the piano and I would sing lead because those was my songs. And I'd say, well, you learn that song and you sing harmony. But she was always, it was always Sharon. And Sharon had a beautiful voice and she could sing. Oh my God, she can sing. But it just hurt my feelings a lot. That she was always first and I was always second,
So around 16, is that, I guess you would started singing songs other than when you was a little kid?
Yeah. Started singing more country songs, off the radio and stuff like that.
Who taught you how to play guitar?
My mom. Well, she taught me a few chords, and then I learned from there. 'Cause Mom always just played three chords, and then and she got by with it, so that taught me that, you can play a song in three chords. It's not going to sound as good, but you can adjust it to do that. You don't have to put 50 chords in it for a song to sound good. But she played three chords, and then I'd watch her do it, and I learned. But yeah, she learned to A and D and G, and then I started picking up the guitar. Whenever the family got together to play music, I'm the one that always had to play the music, the piano, the guitar, because nobody else would play or could play.
So, do you know where the music in our family first started?
Well, my mom was always a good singer. She was yodeling when she was a little kid out in picking cotton. And I remember because Grandma would say, she drove us crazy. She'd out there, and in the summertime picking vegetables and stuff or whatever in the garden. She'd drive us crazy trying to learn how to yodel. And she said we were so glad when she learned how, because all we heard was odel-lady-tee, yodel. But my mom could yodel. She could yodel so good. But it come from her, and my dad used to be a Pentecostal preacher, and him and I've got half brothers and sisters, because my dad had a wife and 8 kids. Well, he was going with my mom and had us kids. He had a double life. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. But one of my half brothers, Bobby Penn, was his stage name. Anyway, he had a band in Nashville and everything, and Sharon traveled around with him for a while and sang in the Grand Ole Opry and all that. So it comes from both sides of the family, my mom's side and my dad's side. I don't ever remember my grandma. My grandma sang, but my grandpa, he didn't sing that much. He was just really quiet.
Well, talking about brothers and sisters, you want to tell about was it got kidnapped pretty much?
Got stolen.
Got stolen.
Well, it's a long story, but my mom got married to Bernard Osnamer, and they lived in Corning, Arkansas. And they had 5 kids. Jerry Lee, he was premature, so he only lived like 5 hours. And Mom said she got to hold him about 5 hours. He lived about 5 hours. She held him and stuff. And she said he was so cute, coal black curly hair. He's buried over there in Corning at that cemetery. Then it was Linda. Then it was Kathy, Judy, and Danny. So she had 5 kids by Bernard. Well, Bernard was an alcoholic, and he worked every day. But when he got his check, he'd always go get drunk. He'd go out to the bars and run around on Mom and stuff, and wouldn't pay the bills or hardly buy groceries or nothing. So, so she decided to leave. And my 2 aunts lived in Granite City, Illinois, and they told Mom, leave the kids there with Grandma for 2 weeks. It'll take you 2 weeks to get your first check, plus you'll get tips. And then we'll go back there and get the kids. Just leave them there so you can work and make some money. So anyway, while she was gone, my grandma, she worked at a restaurant, but she was, at the time she wasn't working, she had the kids with her. But one of my mom's first cousins watched them while my grandma was working. And somehow or another, the word got around to this family. They owned half of Corning. They were rich. Margie Cox. Charles and Margie Cox was their name. And they, somehow or another, they didn't have any kids. They couldn't have kids. He was disabled. I don't know if it was from the military or what, but he was disabled in a wheelchair, and they couldn't have kids, and so they always wanted kids. So somehow or another, word got back to him or something that it went around that Mom abandoned the kids. And anyway, they got an attorney or went to some place, whatever, not child support, but child protective services or whatever. And they told them that Mom abandoned them kids and they wanted the kids. So, but Bernard was still there. And come to find out, Bernard did sign the kids over to them, but Mom never did. And see, he should have took them kids and took care of them or whatever, but he didn't. But later on, Judy showed us some papers where Bernard had signed his name, and Mom said, I didn't know nothing about those papers. But anyway, the Cox family, they went to court, and the judge gave them, she said she only wanted 2. And she wanted Judy and Danny because they were the youngest. Judy was 3 and Danny was 8 months old. Kathy was 5 and Linda was 6. Or Kathy was 4 and Linda was 6. Something like that, because I know Linda was in kindergarten. So she had to be 5 or 6. But anyway, they took the kids, and Mom come back and tried to get them back, and she couldn't. She even went to their house and knocked on the door, and they run her off. They hired a security officer or cop, I don't know which one, but they hired them to sit at the house when the kids went to school, walk them to school, stay at school with them all day, and bring them home. Anywhere they went, there was a security officer with them. But Mom said she tried to get them back, and even Grandma told them, said, I had the kids. She didn't abandon them. She went to work, but they was rich. They had so much money that they paid them off. They paid the judge and the policemen and all them off too. And the saddest thing about it is, they were mean to. They was mean to Danny. They wasn't mean to Judy, but they was mean to Danny physically and mentally, and sexually abused Danny. And anyway, Linda, one day when Mom come to get him, and she tried to get Judy to come to open up the door so she could take her, and Judy said she remembered that story. And but Judy wouldn't open the door. She's afraid she'd get in trouble. She said, "I can't. I'll get in trouble, you know." But anyway, so Mom said, "Well, it's about time for kids to get out of school. Let's go see, or going to school. Let's see if we can find Linda." And Linda, they said they seen Linda skipping down the sidewalk, and they stopped and said, "Linda, get in the car, get in the car." She said, "Oh, hi, Mom." And Linda told me this herself. She said, "I remember I said, 'Hi, Mom, hi, Uncle James, hi, Uncle Leroy.' And they said, 'Get in the car, Linda.' 'Oh, no, I'll be late for school. I got to go to school. My teacher and my friends and stuff. I can't miss school. I'll see you later.' And Mom said, 'Linda, get in the car right now.' She said, 'Oh, I got to go to school.' Linda said she was just skipping and laughing and, 'See you later,' you know, just happy. And anyway, my grandpa and my uncles and them always said, 'Well, what the hair,' instead of cussing. But anyway, James said, or Leroy, he said, 'What the hair?' I just stopped the car, and he got out and he grabbed Linda and throwed her in, and they went to Granite. So Mom got her and got to keep her, but the other ones she couldn't get.
Yeah.
And that bothered her whole life. I mean, that was sad.
I bet. That's a crazy story.
But my grandma always sent my mom pictures of them in the newspaper. Danny was a drummer. He was an awesome drummer and in school and everything. And she'd send him pictures because they, you know, all kinds of events they was in, because the Cox family had a lot of money. So they had anything they wanted. But anyway, and they told the kids that Mom died. They didn't even know Mom was living. They thought she passed away.
Well, I think where we want to go next. Well, I know like a lot of people in our family is singer, songwriter, plays an instrument, produces something. I mean, how how do you feel like when you write a song and sing a song, like sing your song you wrote? Because like,
well, when to me, music is, especially when I'm singing and by myself, you know, singing by myself. Just a minute. Music, when I'm singing, nothing's on my mind but singing that song and doing it the best I can. The world goes away. And that's another one of my favorite songs, is Make the World Go Away. Because when you're singing, you got your heart into it, nothing else is on your mind. None of your problems, what's going on in life, nothing. It's just you, and a lot of times it's spiritual with a gospel song. But music comes from the heart. If you're a good singer, it comes from the heart, and you can feel the music. But that's the best time for me there is singing. Because nothing bothers you at that time. It's just singing.
Yeah, I get that, because when I write my songs, you know, when I get done writing them, it just feels really good that I got it finished and it's a good song, and the stuff I came up with and the story behind it and all that. And then, of course, performing it is a crazy feeling. Well, anything you can think of you want to talk about?
Well,
I would say, or we can get into these kind of more serious questions?
Well, the more serious questions probably gonna take a while, and I probably need more time because I'd like to go into them in length, but because there's a lot of stories I like to tell about my kids and my stepkids and my husbands and all that stuff, but it'd take a while.
Well, I mean, like, what is life about to you?
Oh, well, I can answer that one. My life to me is family, which is it's family. I love my kids and grandkids and great grandkids with all my heart. I mean, and I thought about that one day. I always say all my heart to each one. How can you give all your heart to one kid? But I remember that reminds me of when Matthew, he's about 6, and he said, "Mama, which kid do you love the best?" And I said, "What?" He said, "Well, which one of us kids do you love the best? You have to have a favorite one," which I knew he wanted me to say him, of course. I said, "Well, let me think about it." He said, "Oh, you know which one you love the best." Because Matthew was my baby boy,
Right.
And so I finally figured it out, and I said, "Okay, I got it." He said, "What is it?" He just knew it was going to be him. And I said, "Well, Matt, I love Tessie the most." He said, "What? You love Tessie the most?" I said, "Wait a minute, let me finish." I said, "I love Tessie the most because she's my firstborn daughter. And oh, how special is your firstborn little girl." Oh, and I said, "But I love Eddie the best." He said, "What? Now you love Eddie the best?" I said, "Eddie was my firstborn son. And how special is your firstborn son? So he's my favorite." "Now, wait a minute." I said, "You." He said, "Oh, you love me the best then, right?" And I said, "How?" I said, I love you the best because you're my baby boy." And I said, "I love Caitlin the best too." He said, "Why you love her the best?" I said, "Because she's my baby girl. So see, I love you all the same. I love you all the best." Well, okay then.
I think you can love us all with all your heart at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds funny, like how you love somebody with all your heart, but my heart's got plenty of room for all of you. That's family is the most important thing. Stay close and love each other. And of course, I always pray for my kids. And
I don't think it's giving all your heart to one person. I think it's all your heart to each one.
Yeah.
Use all your heart for each one.
That's good to say it that way. Yeah.
So when I think about you, the main thing I think of is unconditional love. Mm-hmm. That's what I've always noticed. So do you know where you got that from, or that's just how you are?
I didn't get it from my mom because she was so different. My mom was, I never did think she loved me my whole life. Or if she did, she didn't show it. I was just always treated different than the rest of them. And my grandma was probably the best person in the whole world, my grandma and grandpa. But my grandma never said nothing bad about anybody, ever. And even when she left my grandpa, because he started messing around with another woman, and the woman got pregnant, and Buck, and so Grandpa asked her, said, "Well, what do you want to do?" And she said, "Well, you just divorce me and you go with her because she's going to have a baby. She's going to need help with that baby," because their kids was already older. Anyway, later on, when my grandma was passing away, we lived in Cloverleaf, and Grandma was there in the house, and my Aunt Velma called Grandpa, which lived right across the road, and she said, they called him Poppy. Said, "Poppy, don't you think you need to go see Mommy?" They called her Mommy. "Don't you think you need to go see Mommy because she don't have long to live?" he said, well, what the hair? I guess I'll go say something to her. He said, you better apologize for what you did. Well, all right then. But anyway, I was there when he went over there, and it was so sad. He come in there, and she was sitting there at the table chair. She was so sick. Oh gosh. And he pulled up a chair by her, and he was real shy. He would not say nothing, but there was people there, and I'm surprised he did it because he's real quiet and keeps everything to himself. But he looked at her and said, Nori? And she said, yeah, Buck. And he said, I just want to tell you something. I'm sorry for what I did. Would you forgive me? She said, now, Buck Householder, I forgave you years ago. What's the matter with you? She would go over and have dinner with him and Peggy and all the kids and my mom and all. She'd go too. How you doing? This food so. Just the best person in the whole world. So any good stuff has to come from grandma, because and because of the way I was raised. My dad wasn't there. I didn't feel loved by my mom. Because of the way I was raised, I promised God, and I promised every one of you when I was pregnant with y'all, I'd tell them that I'm going to be the best mom I can be in my life. You kids are going to mean everything to me. I'll always tell you I love you, always, because I never was told I love you. So that's where it came from growing up, how I did, to the way that I was going to be when I got older.
Well, that's why I feel like I'm such a caring person. I get it from you.
Yeah, you are. You're a caring person. You feels people's hurt, and you're always there for your brothers and sisters when you can be. Yeah, you're a good person. You have a good heart. But I told myself I was not going to be that way. I was going to be the best mom I could, and I'm always going to love my kids. If they ever need anything, if I could, I'd help them. And I stuck to that promise, and I'll always stick to that.
Yeah, all your kids and grandkids and whoever, it don't matter what they did. It don't matter.
It don't matter what they've done.
Don't matter. You'll still.
And I love them still with all my heart, and pray for them every day, and just trust God to change, to help change them or whatever. But I don't care what they've done. I care what they've done, but I always love them. Don't matter. I'm going to love them and be there for them if I can, do what's right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the biggest thing I admire about you. But, all right. Different question. Where did you and my dad meet?
We met in Rockford, Illinois. I think we met at Skeets Drive-In. It's like a Sonic. But I dated his brother Blaine for a while.
Yeah, I remember you telling me.
Blaine was crazy. Blaine was a lot of fun. Your dad was more quiet like you. But Blaine was a lot of fun. Me and my friends, we'd just go ride around with him, go Skeets, and everybody'd get out and sit on their hoods or whatever and walk around and get sodies and whatever. It was just a greeting place for all of us to meet up. But I met your dad through him, and then Blaine got married, to Judy, which, anyway, they got a few kids together. But when he told me he was thinking about getting married to Judy, then that's when I called it off. And then me and your dad started seeing each other. So, and then we got married. We didn't know each other very long. I just wanted to get out of my mom's house. Oh, yeah, I can get away from my mom. Yeah, I'll marry you.
So I think you kind of already answered this, but how do you want to be remembered? I think you pretty much said that when talking about your kids.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I just want to remember that I was there for y'all. And that's one thing when, if I'm dying laying on my deathbed or whatever, and I don't want to have to ask anybody for forgiveness.
Right.
I do not want to say, "Oh, please forgive me for what I did," and all that. But I do not want to ask nobody to forgive me. I pray to God and I said, "Lord, if there's anything I've done wrong or need, please forgive me or whatever." But I don't want to say, "Tessie, would you please forgive me for something I did to her or you or anybody?" Because I try my best. I'm not trying not to be mean to nobody. I've got mad a few times and stuff, but I don't want any bad hard feelings with anybody, because when I go, I don't want to feel any regret or say, "I'm sorry, please forgive me for what I did." I don't want to do that,
Right.
And I won't lie to you. I'll tell you the truth,
Well, I can't think anything else right now.
Well, the next time we do this or whatever, I would like to just tell a lot of funny stuff that happened in the family with all the kids. I'll start taking notes, and because we got a funny family.
Oh yeah.
Everybody does funny things, and we laugh and talk and cut up. And
I think Ronnie might be the funniest.
oh, he is. Well, he is. Yeah, he's funny, not trying to be funny. And then Sharon, she's hilarious.
Oh yeah. Well, who should I interview after this?
Well, I was thinking one of the kids.
Well, I was trying to, hopefully all of them will do it eventually.
Yeah, I want them all to do it, but I would like for you to interview Annette. I would like to see what she's got different to say than what I've said.
Or we can maybe even do,
A
bunch of us.
Yeah.
Just sit around.
And yeah, that'd be good. And then you said, and we just start talking about stuff,
Yeah.
Annette.
We probably need to do that too.
But Annette, she was the scaredest one of the bunch,
Yeah.
I remember I had to slap her one time just so she'd get a blood test. I smacked her hard too. You better stop it right now. Put out your arm. Because they're going to see, back then you had to have a blood test before you got married. See if you was related or not. If they done that now, nobody'd be married. Because anyway, she said, okay. And then she just touched her like that, and she go, "Oh, and Jesus, help me, Lord, Jesus, wait a minute. Sharon would always say, "You ain't whooping me, Mom." And she'd say, "Yes, I am." And Sharon would take away the switch or the belt, whatever she had. She'd just stand there and say, "You ain't hitting me. Just try it. You ain't going to hit me." One time, where was it? Mom went out the door. No, Sharon went in the door, and Mom was fixing to come in after her. She had a switch or a belt or something. And Sharon said, "You ain't coming in there," and pushed the door real hard, and it fell on Mom on the floor, and Sharon sat on it. And Mom was going, help me. And I said, "What are you doing?" She said, "I'm sitting, Mom's underneath this door. I'm sitting on it." And I said, why don't you let her up? She said, "She's going to whip me." And she says, "She ain't going to whip me, and she's going to stay there." Let her up.
Well, that reminds me of the time that Grandma got locked in the bathroom, and she was freaking out. Mark, she's hollering Mark's name. You remember that? I don't even remember where that was.
It was in Rector, in them apartments where my mom lived.
That's like I think the only memory I had about that place.
Yeah, no, and yeah, Mom got locked in there, and Mark was saying, because she was mad at Mark, and she said, "Yo, you're in so much trouble when I get out of here." See, well, you ain't getting out then. And she said, "Oh, you're getting a whooping." He said, "No, I ain't either." And she said, and then she tried, there was a little bathroom window, and he went around there and he said, "You ain't getting out the window either. Tell me you're not whooping me, and I'll let you out."
I remember the window too.
She said, "Open this."
So did she lock herself in there?
It accidentally locked, and Mark knew how to open it. but he wouldn't do it. And then David, when he got in trouble, he'd run. He'd run out the door and run around the house. And he'd run this way and this way, wherever. And Mom would chase him. He'd run until Mom got real tired. And Mom would stop and he said, well, are you going to whoop me or not? Because I'm just going to start running again. So he'd get out of it. And that was the crybaby. And, oh, help me, Jesus, Lord. Wait a minute. Let me pray. In the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Ghost. And wait. Is it going to hurt? Oh, please don't let it hurt. And I was the only one that just stood there and let her whoop me. I just let her whoop me. The only one that, and I usually didn't do nothing, you know. But I just stood there. But I learned she hit you until you started crying. Because I wasn't going to cry for nothing. Because I didn't do nothing, you know. Them kids, oh, they got in trouble. But I was a good kid. I had a clean house and I did everything because I wanted my mom to tell me she loved me. You know, just done stuff for her and cleaned and everything. But I just stand there and take a whooping. So it would make you feel bad. And one time I said, are you done yet? Oh, she started me again.
I remember when we was kids, it could have been a belt, but it could have been a switch, and it could have been a lot of stuff. I remember at one point we had to go get our own switch, and we'd be out there trying to figure out which one would not hurt the worst. Like, well, we'll get a little skinny one. Like, no, that'll sting more.
Yeah. But y'all hardly ever got a whooping. I don't remember whooping you.
No, we didn't. Not too many times. Well, now that we're talking about it, and I'm grown up now, I think I told you, but you know, you would tell my dad to whoop me, take him back there and whoop him, and he'd get his belt, and we'd go in there and shut the door, and he was smiling, and he said, now you got to act like I whooped you. He said, you got to act like you're crying, like you're crying. And he would take the belt and hit the bed with it. I don't think he ever whooped
I don't
us.
think you kids hardly ever got a whooping. But yeah, see, I'd tell him to do it because I didn't want to, you know, because I didn't want to. I knew it upset me if we started crying. But yeah, all of y'all, I think, got one. I don't think I ever whooped you. You was such a good kid, the best one, real quiet. Kaylin, that girl was always something else. But she sang and she ate coffee grounds and butter out of the refrigerator with her hand to dig in and just eat. Oh. But everything with y'all was good kids, really, you know.
Well, when I think of family, I always think of that first big family reunion we had in Maynard.
Oh, and Maynard, there at the farm?
Where everybody was there.
Oh, my gosh.
It lasted like 2 days, 3 days.
3 days.
And we had the trailer in the back for the younger people, and then y'all had the house. It was
packed full.
And the yard, I mean, there was, I don't know how many people.
There was like 7 people on the trampoline asleep. How many people was on that bed in that back bedroom? It was you, Jeremiah, Damien, Matt, Devonda, Rebecca. There was a whole bunch of, because I went in the next morning. I went, oh my God.
That was one of the best times ever. That might have been the best party ever been to.
Because there were so many people and oh man, talk about cooking and lots of food.
And you didn't have to worry about getting too loud because it was way out in the country.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of answered this, and I kind of know what you're going to say, but is there anything like I'm going to tell you, those kids, like, I don't know, life advice or,
just be true to yourself and love each other, and if you help each other if you need help, and just pray every day, Lord, if you've done anything wrong, the Lord forgive you, and just love each other. And like if somebody hurt your feelings, you need to get over it, talk about it, get over it, because I want y'all to be close forever, always stay close, and if anybody needs one of you, I'll be there for each other. Which y'all do that anyway, but stay that way.
Yeah. Well, unless there's something else you want to say, I guess we covered a lot. I mean, I know there's more stories. But
Oh yeah,
might have
there's
to.
a lot, but one day we'll have to just like, because there's so much I can tell. There's so many stories, you know. I know the family would love to hear them.
Right. So you want to end it here?
Well, yeah, I guess.
It's up to you.
Well, whoever watches this, thank you for watching. Leave a comment. Follow us because there'll be a part 2.
Yeah, I plan on doing more of these, definitely, so we can get all the family stories.
Yeah.
For different people that tell it in, their way.
Right.
All right, so before we end it, I got a surprise for you.
What? A surprise?
Yeah, I've been waiting for a long time to do it on camera.
What?
So it's right here. I know I've been telling you I got an injury, which I really do.
Oh my God. Let me see what. Oh, that's why you wanted me to write that.
That's your handwriting.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Eddie. Where'd you get that picture from?
It was the one that Patrick took of you when you was at a restaurant.
Oh.
It was like, I don't know, 4 or 5
Oh
years
my
ago.
gosh. That's so special. Love you. Oh my gosh. With all my heart, see?
So
love you with all my heart. That's awesome.
the camera get it.
I hope it's on there. Oh my gosh, Eddie. I never would have guessed you'd done that. Oh wow. That's a lot. Well, at least I look good on your arm. Aw.
Yep.
Where'd you get that done at?
Jesse Perez at Love Spill Tattoo.
Oh
It's
wow.
about 9 hours.
Oh my
That
God.
one. I've had this for 6 months.
6 months and I didn't
just
even
kept
know
hiding
it.
it. But I just got this
Aw.
about 2.5 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and that is my writing. Oh.
Yep.
Well, see how my son is. He loves me.
Because we was getting this tattoo for Amir, and I was telling him about this, how I wanted that writing there, and he said, well, you should get it in her handwriting. I said, I'm glad you said that. And that's why I did that.
Oh my gosh, Eddie. Aw.
So, yeah.
Oh. Isn't that sweet? I have a wonderful son that loves me. Are you ready to go outside or something? Thank you, everybody, and thank you, Eddie, for my wonderful gift. That's a good gift. Aw.
Yep.
And that is my handwriting. I wondered why he had me write that down several times. I thought, what's he doing? I thought maybe he's going to put it like on a little sign or something, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, thank you, Eddie. That's
You're
special.
welcome. All right. I love you.
I love you too with all my heart.
I love you, all my family. Bye. Oh, no.
Oh, shit.